Baldur's Gate 3 is boring. I'm expecting to be in the minority for this since I've heard nothing but praise about the game, and I mean, it's even been nominated for Game of the Year, so what is there to criticize? Well, I think there are three main reasons why I find Baldur's Gate unbearably boring. Alright, let's start with this. One of the first things you'll hear about Baldur's Gate 3 is how long the game is, and while that may be the case, it isn't really the issue here. Baldur's Gate is just so damn slow. Right off the bat, no sprint button, great. Want to jump somewhere? Put up to the spot, channel the spell, line it up, hope you can jump that far. Hurry up. The dialogue never ends. Clicking sometimes messes up when I'm trying to walk through a doorway, or I might click a companion by mistake.
All's well, I hope?
Oh god, no. Accidentally I might get into a fight.
No, why?
Well, now I need to reload the save file, wait for the loading screen.
Oh man, why would you do that to me?
RIP, by the way, to anyone not running this game from an SSD, because you're going to be stuck looking at this loading screen for at least 20% of your playtime. Consult the map, read the journal, find my next quest. Right, okay, we're heading out. Oh, I forgot to sell my stuff. Your companion at times will bug out and stop following you for absolutely no reason. I play rogue, so every time I get to a stealth part or to a room that's trapped...
Be wary. This place is trapped.
I don't see any traps. Oh, chest! I then need to ungroup my party and move everybody one at a time. In most RPGs, you'll choose a class and then that's all you have to worry about, right? You'll just read the skills important to you, learning that one aspect of the game, but in Baldur's Gate 3, actually you're going to need to learn the whole game. Companions all level up at the same time, so on top of making decisions for yourself, you'll need to micromanage them too, which means reading about their class type, and which weapons they're proficient with. Hands down, the absolute worst for this are the wizards and clerics. The sheer number of spells and blessings you need to sift through and learn about is just so overwhelming. Then you've got the actual combat itself, which is instead underwhelming. You're limited in the number of actions that you can do or spells that you can cast per round, so despite the fact that it's supposed to be the more engaging part of the game, most of the time you're just positioning yourself or having to strategize about how to make the best use of your scarce resources. Remember that spell you spent ages reading about? Well, let's hope you remembered to equip it. Or better yet, that it actually lands a hit when the enemy is on literally 1 HP.
Chat, we're done for the night completely.
Which brings me to my next point. Baldur's Gate 3 is wildly frustrating.
She stole my coin.
This game blends turn-based combat with percentage chance RNG, so most attacks have a chance of missing. Great. Need to reload my save file now. In 18 hours of playtime, I've leveled up just 4 times and I get absolute slammed in battles that I'm not ready for. I've explored everything that I can in the areas that I've visited and found very few upgrades. It took me like 9 hours to finally get an upgrade for my short sword, which does just 1 extra damage. Thanks for that. Throughout the game, you're constantly being put through the dialogue tree where you'll decide how to respond to any given situation. Sometimes they can actually be quite funny.
Right, let's set this guy free. Break or release? I say we go release. Yay.
Other times, choosing to leave will make a whole camp of people aggressive towards you.
Fine. Suppose I'll just eat you then.
Great, need to reload the save file now. Or most of the time negatively impact your companion's opinions of you. Getting those choices that you actually want also depends on that same dice roll RNG chance function. So that's great. The cursor is always getting confused, which is especially annoying when looting. Interacting with the environment is just generally awkward. The camera is annoying to position and often doesn't go where I want it to or gets obstructed by the terrain. I've had my game bug out, I've had my game crash.
Shadowheart
But
approved.
let's take care of our problem first. Rest well.
Boom, you see that? See that? The game crashed. Here's the crash report.
I've had my game tell me that I can jump down somewhere but then have me fall into a giant pit and die.
Gonna help him. I've got this. Here I go. Whoa! Whoa! So, what's going on down here then? Couple of my companions jumped in a hole and not come back. What's been happening here? Oh.
Broken bones. Must have fallen.
The game has some really clever solutions to problems like this, where it can be really interesting to play around with, but it doesn't consistently push the limitations of what you can do frequently enough to make you feel like you have plenty of freedom in how you approach the game. Instead, it feels more like I need to study or consult some kind of guide to figure out the niche ways something can be used elsewhere. This often means that I'll commit to a certain kind of playstyle, which is supported for a time, until the story then forces me into a position where now I have to do something else. Like this fight, which I had to repeat 20 times, only to have the whole goblin camp turn against me in the end anyway. So much for doing it stealthily. There probably is some better way to do it, but these solutions aren't obvious enough for most players to figure out on their own, and therefore aren't as satisfying to discover. You'll constantly feel like you're making bad decisions and playing the game improperly, or you'll be getting really familiar with reloading your save files until what you want to have happen finally does. Now that we're talking about the story and dialogue, I think it's time to be honest. This shit can be cringe as fuck. At different points, characters will just unload all of their personal drama onto you, including the occasional social commentary or moral dilemma. Nowadays, I get it. Games need to be all-inclusive, giving people the option to customize their characters and approach the story from an angle that they feel most comfortable with. But do we really need to hear so much of this melodramatic dialogue about all of these characters and all of their problems? To give you an idea of just how much text and dialogue there is in this game, I recorded 20 hours of gameplay in the making of this video. And out of all of that footage, only 4 of those hours, that's 25% of all of my recordings, were of the actual battles in the game. The 75% rest of it is reading text, talking to NPCs, and managing your inventory. It's not like it's even good dialogue either. Most of this stuff is just embarrassing to listen to.
Smiles and pain will fade away. Words of mine will change. No. Become. Words of mine will when you call the last lights down. Moon reminds me of your grace. All the love I can't repay. Faith, care. All the love I can't repay. Musa.
Fucking hell, how long does this shit last for? This is still going. Let's just keep going. No, it doesn't. That was so fucking long.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, you should be. Why can't I jump off the cliff? Let me get myself.
Every character is wanting to smash, which is just kind of fucking weird.
I want to taste you. Perhaps tonight.
And some of them are so poorly written that I can't help but feel bored and disconnected from the story. Specifically, Karlach. God, she's so annoying.
That's right, she won't. She can't. She couldn't even lay a finger.
Oh, there she goes. Breaking everything she sees, yep. Oh. God, I fucking hate you so much. Fuck you.
I'm never going back.
Oh, okay, yep. Thanks for that, Karlach.
As a UK driller myself, the accents are just jarring to listen to, as the characters constantly attempt to relate and resonate some kind of emotional response from the player. Mate, it's supposed to be Dungeons and Dragons. That's an epic tale, right, about mystery and adventure? The whole point is to be as much of a departure from reality as possible. I don't give a shit about how these fictional characters feel or what they're going through. That should not be the focus of your game.